Let's go and open up the Washoe County District Board of Health for Thursday, May 25th, 2023, and I'll ask for a roll call.
Recording in progress.
Should I do that again?
Chair Dare,
Here.
Vice Chair Reese. Here. Garcia is absent. Michael Brown.
Here.
Dr. Danko.
Here.
John Clacking. Here. John Novak. We have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and go to Pledge of Allegiance. Ms. Brown, you want to lead us, sir? To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We are looking for we're on number 3, approval of agenda. Does anybody want to move anything, or we have a motion?
Move to approve.
I have a first and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes. John Novak, I'm sorry. Passes unanimously. Yes. It doesn't let us yet, though. Mine's not showing. Thank you. Okay, we are moving on to recognitions. We have years of service, new hires, and all the like. Mr. Dick.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Dare. I'd like to begin with years of service. And today we're recognizing Kristen DeBraga, who has 5 years of service with EHS. She is not able to be here today. Also recognizing Tyler Henderson, who has 5 years of service at EHS as well. I believe he's busy out doing pool inspections at this time of year. We have a couple of new hires that I'd like to recognize, and I'd like to ask Mr. English if he could introduce Julissa Pulido and Giovanna Bethia.
Would you like them to come up now?
Yes, please. That would be.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members of the board. James English, Environmental Health Specialist. With me today as our 2 latest new hires. We're really happy to have them here in EHS that actually completely fills our field staff for the first time in probably 2 years. Julissa Pulido is a Nevada native who has resided in Reno for the last 12 years. She's graduated from the University of Nevada, Reno, and studied in nutrition. Got her BS there. She also studied abroad in Spain, in San Sebastian. She comes to us with accounting experience, a real enthusiastic interest in public health, and enjoys yoga, hiking, and exploring new places if we give her any time off. Giovanna Bethia goes by the name Gia. She's a Nevada native too. She's lived in Reno for the past 6 years. She comes to us with 4 years of experience in healthcare, managing and coordinating healthcare initiatives, working at such places as Access to Healthcare and Renown. She's also a graduate of the University of Nevada, Reno with a degree in public health. She also enjoys reading, hiking, and snowboarding. They're super excited to be a part of environmental health and getting out and working with our community to protect the environment and public health in general.
Welcome. We'll take a picture in a minute, but we're glad you're here.
Next, I'd like to announce Jamie Morales, public health investigator in CCHS, is retiring, and I don't believe she's here today. No, she is not. And how many years? Okay. Yep, of the county. So 30 years. And then we have also a resignation. Cecilia Bustos Duarte, public health nurse, has resigned, left us mid-month. We have a number of Washoe County health heroes that I'd like to recognize. Jackie Scheides with CCHS in the WIC program, not able to be here with us today, but she was recognized for adaptability and compassion. Christina Shepard. Christina, if you could stand up, please. APRN and CCHS recognized for values of collaboration, trustworthiness, and adaptability. Candace Brown. Candace, can you please, there you are. Stand up with air quality, recognized for the value of trustworthiness. And Mia Zeb with EHS. There she is. If you could stand up, please. Recognized for adaptability, trustworthiness, and compassion. So thank you all for your efforts.
Did you give them all a hand? Come on. Very good. Whenever it says heroes by your name, we have to clap for them. That's a rule. So good job.
And then our communications team wanted to recognize Yara Diavola and Scott Oxerart. I see Scott is in the back. Is Yara here? On her way, okay. They were recognized, I mentioned the board before, they were finalists for the government social media conferences award for Facebook, for their Spanish Facebook page, and they were recognized there and came home with a plaque as the finalist, but not, unfortunately, the top in that category. But I'll add last night at the PRSA Awards, they were awarded and recognized with the Bronze Silver Spike Award for their MPOX communications campaign.
Good job.
Congratulations on that.
You're winners to us, brother.
And then I would like to turn it over to Olivia Alexander Leader to present our Excellence in Food Safety Award.
Matt, welcome.
Hi. So good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the board, and members of our community. My name is Olivia Leader, and I'm an environmental health specialist with the Environmental Health Services Division. And today I have the privilege of recognizing Matt Soder and his business, Nevada Brining Company, as the 2022 Excellence in Food Safety Award winner. The Excellence in Food Safety Award is a program offered by the EHS division to recognize Washoe County food establishments that go the extra mile with food safety practices to protect consumer health and well-being. And winners of the Excellence in Food Safety Award demonstrate exceptional care and attention to detail to ensure that they provide a safe and healthy product for our Washoe County community members. Nevada Brining Company was founded by Matt in 2014 and specializes in the creation of artisanal pickles, rubs, sauces, brines, and other bar accoutrements. The operation at Nevada Brining Company embodies a great care for the Washoe County community through not only their attention to food safety, but also their support of local producers through sourcing seasonal ingredients and their sustainability initiatives that include composting and minimizing food waste. But more than anything, we wish to recognize them for their demonstrating just a true dedication to food safety through their continuous monitoring of the safety of their products, ensuring the accuracy through the use of current technology, and the meticulous maintenance of a sanitary work environment. In 2017, Matt and Nevada Brining Company developed an approved hazard analysis and critical control point plan for monitoring the pH of their products. That ensures that they are not only of a high quality, but are also safe and healthy for our community. Matt and his team maintain diligent logs for tracking product pH, thermal processing times, product batch information, and pH meter calibration. And all of his team members are sufficiently trained and prepared to take the necessary and health-preserving corrective actions should it be needed when they're testing their products. Since developing this plan, they've also been a gracious source of industry information for other food establishments and for some new environmental health specialists in our division as we learn about the implementation of special food safety processes. The founder of Nevada Brining Company is also in the process of earning his certification as a preventative controls qualified individual, and so he's currently engaged in an FDA-approved training program on the development and application of risk-based preventative controls for foodborne illness risk factors in food establishments. Matt and his team at Nevada Brining Company really deserve this recognition and should take a great pride in their accomplishments with food safety. So I just want to say congratulations, Matt, and congratulations to Nevada Brining Company. Well done.
Thank you.
Well, she said a lot of stuff. Is there anything you want to say?
I just want to say thank you to everyone who worked for the community and keeping everyone safe, and we absolutely respect what's being done here, and we try to raise the bar and work together as a team. So thank you, everyone.
Well, don't go too far. We're going to take a picture with you, too.
Mr. Chair, if I might
Please.
add. So if you don't know Matt and Nevada Brining Company, you should. They've got some incredible food and products there. I'm particularly a fan of their rattlesnake relish, but also just pickles and pickle juice. And if you're smart, you go over there and you get their charcuterie lunchbox. They run out every day, I think, and you can really make something special out of it. But I wish that it was a Nevada, Reno-based business, but you're on the Spark side of things, which will make our chair happy. But it's just an incredible addition to this community. And I know that the pandemic faced some challenges there as a business, but you endured, persevered, and have gotten stronger. But if you haven't been, go check them out. They're over on Glendale, and it's just a great business. It's so cool. Everything they're doing there is you'll really enjoy. So go support this local small business.
Thank you so much.
Definitely.
Very good.
Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations.
Now we have a few proclamations.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to ask, we have a couple of representatives from the Washoe County School District here today to join us for the Stop the Bleed proclamation. And that's Leslie Alfrey, who's Medical Emergency Response and Triage member there. And we have Michael Perry, who's the School Safety Specialist. And then I'd like to ask Ms. Braswell to join us as well down by the podium, right there. Oh, you got it. Well, thank you for being here today. Today's proclamation is for Stop the Bleed Day. Whereas uncontrolled bleeding injuries can result from natural disasters, man-made incidents, or everyday accidents. And whereas if the bleeding is severe, it can kill an individual within minutes, potentially before trained responders can arrive. And whereas no matter how rapid the arrival of professional emergency responders, bystanders will likely be first on the scene. And whereas research has shown that bystanders with little or no medical training can become heroic lifesavers, similar to the use of CPR or automatic defibrillators, improving public awareness about how to stop severe bleeding and expanding personal and public access to bleeding control kits can be the difference between life and death for an injured person. And whereas Stop the Bleed is intended to cultivate grassroots efforts that encourage bystanders to become trained, equipped, and empowered to help in a bleeding emergency before professional help arrives. And whereas Washoe County intends to build resilience by empowering the general public to be aware of the steps that can be taken to stop or slow life-threatening bleeding and to promote the general public's access to bleeding control kits. And whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value of bystander responses by designating a National Stop the Bleed Day. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Washoe County District Board of Health does hereby proclaim May 25th, 2023 as National Stop the Bleed Day in Washoe County, Nevada. This was adopted 25th day of May 2023, signed by Christopher Dare, Chairman of the District Board of Health. So, thank you.
Very good. You guys want to share anything?
Let me present you with a proclamation and go ahead.
I'm Leslie Alfrey. I work at the Washoe County School District, Student Health Services Coordinator. Chairman Dare and Board, thank you very much for inviting us here today. I've worked with Washoe County School District since 2017. We've worked to bring bleeding control training to Washoe County School District and to the larger community. To date, we have worked with our county health department, emergency preparedness group, and a number of other community health providers to bring bleeding control equipment to every single one of our schools and facilities. It's over 120, every school police vehicle. And we've trained over 1,500 of our students, teachers, and other community members. And that number continues to grow. So thank you for all of your support.
Any fellow board members want to say anything? Go for it. Dr. Danko?
Yes,
I
thank you so
felt it.
much. Yeah, thank you for, good job. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. And I'd like to just echo what part of the proclamation said, that we are so grateful to EMS and frontline heroes all the time, but anybody who is at the scene of an emergency becomes a frontline hero. And we see that every single day. People bridge with CPR until EMS arrives, and all the time. So thank you for educating, and thank you for being out there and making heroes every single day. So thank you.
Good job. Okay. We need to take I need a motion for this. Would you like to?
Yes,
So
I'll make the motion.
So I think we have Danko with a first.
Yep.
And I have Councilman Reese with a second. Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Passes unanimously. We all think that you're wonderful. Do you have one more? We have a presentation of Older Americans Month, Senior Falls Prevention Campaign. Joseph Dibble, come on down.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Joe, you can just call me Joe Dibble, and I'm injury prevention program. I started the injury prevention program here in Washoe County a little over a year ago through some of our general program funding, and I'm a health educator with the program. And I was asked to come here and present some activities that we did for celebration of Older Americans Month, which is the month of May every year. And so I would like to kind of present one of the major initiatives that we worked on. So if you'd advance the slide, I don't know if I can do that. Can I do that? Okay, cool. So unintentional slips and falls. So just a little bit of information about unintentional slips and falls and some statistics for you. You may not know that unintentional falls actually represent the highest cause of all reported trauma in Washoe County and Nevada. In fact, 60% of all forms of injury were from falls in Nevada, according to the Nevada Trauma Registry report back in 2020. Of these, and this includes all types of injuries, so intentional injuries like homicide or suicide, or unintentional injuries like accidents, falls, motor vehicle accidents, et cetera. 67 or 66%.
Did we do that on purpose? Okay, just want to make sure. Thank you. Because if not, I need our emergency workers on stat. Keep going, I'm sorry, Joe.
Jim. Okay, no, but 66% of all unintentional trauma is actually from unintentional slips and falls. And another important statistic is that the rate of falls is significantly higher among older adults aged 65 and over. And the rate of fatality from a fall, caused by a fall, is much, much higher in groups that are 65 and older compared to younger groups. Also interesting statistic is that most unintentional slips and falls actually occur in the place of residence. So are simply accidents. And those are preventable, which is good too. There are some risk factors and some strategies that have shown to be successful. Some risk factors that would increase someone's risk of falls would include advancing age, as I mentioned, certain health conditions, certain medicines or over-the-counter drugs, someone who has a combination of risk factors, and someone who has many home hazards or multiple home hazards like clutter, throw rugs, broken uneven steps, slippery surfaces, just a more dangerous home environment. There are a number of successful prevention strategies that would include gaining and improving strength and mobility, wearing proper footwear, who knew? There are many home safety modifications that can address the home to ensure that there's adequate lighting, like even something as simple as a night light, a grab bar, an assisted device like a cane or walker, safety ramp are very important. Also, someone taking medications to review those medications with their physician or pharmacist. Eye and foot care, and of course, again, limit or reasonable amounts of alcohol consumption. Who knew? So I wanted to, if you'd advance, or I'll advance this one time, I wanted to show you a video that we created for Senior Falls Prevention Awareness. I don't know if you could advance that for me. And I'm hoping to show this for you today. And can you press play on that? And hopefully it plays for me.
Unintentional falls is the leading cause of injury among older adults. Here are ways to decrease your risk of falls. Make modifications in your home to remove any tripping hazards and install handrails, grab bars, and night lights. Regularly review any supplements and medications with your doctor or pharmacist to see if any will increase your risk of falling. Do exercises that build balance, strength, and mobility. For more information, visit GetHealthyWashShow.com or dial 311 from your phone.
So that video was produced, I had produced, it wrote, and was produced by 88 Studios here in Reno for us. It's in English and Spanish language. We had to limit it to 30 seconds because we really designed this for television. And it's currently visible on our Get Healthy Washoe YouTube channels and accessible through our Get Healthy Washoe injury prevention webpage on there. And so I'll advance this again. So for Older Americans Month, we ran a targeted television regional awareness campaign. And this actually started in late April and was wrapped up at the end of the first week in May. And we had to do this. We wanted to touch into Older Americans Month, but we also had fiscal deadlines with everything closing out in June. As far as invoicing and all that, we had a pretty modest budget, about $6,000 to run this. But we ran it on a combination of Spanish-speaking channels that were through Spectrum Reach, and then English-speaking channels, the big three, ABC, NBC, CBS, which in Reno are like KOLO, KRNV, and KTNV, basically channel 2, 4, and 8. And you saw the sort of call to action for more information. It kind of linked us to our Get Healthy Washoe webpage and also the 311 database. And this spot actually there was over 400 television spots during that 3-week period that yielded about almost 600,000 impressions. And again, these are target impressions to a 50-plus-year-old audience. We estimate there's somewhere in the neighborhood of 160,000 or so adults aged 50-plus in Washoe County, and we had about a 74% reach, which means we reached 74% of those individuals, and we reached them 5 times each, according to independent Nielsen data. So we feel like it was a pretty successful campaign in that. Again, this is an awareness campaign. And we were pretty happy with the overall metrics on that. We also did some social media promotion of this video on our Washoe County Health District social media platforms, especially Facebook, which we think has the most viewership, most participation by older adults. So we posted it on all our Washoe County Health District media platforms on May 3rd, and we had over 1,700 impressions and over 60 engagements just in that time there. Our team and myself also did and are still in the process of doing a lot of direct outreach during this month to Washoe County seniors. So we were a big participant in the Older Americans Month Information Fair over at Senior Services here. We had over 140 participants receive our fall prevention information, and we also passed out some night lights that we had and some other things for fall prevention, as well as promoting that event on our social media channels as well. We participated and helped host the Washoe County Health Festival last weekend, and we reached over 500 families at that event, which also received our fall prevention information. We have senior resource fairs on this coming Tuesday and also another one, education event at Bethel Church. You're coming up, and that's actually June 3rd, but I'm kind of counting it towards this effort here. And then we did some online work with our Get Healthy Washoe page. We steered anyone coming to that page. We have a banner there that you see on the left, and that steers people to that fall prevention, which has a host of very simple resources and information on home modifications and what to do to prevent falls. And these really highlight a couple of our critical partners like Sanford Center for Aging. That's where you saw that video, some of that video filmed. They have free exercise classes. They also have free medication consultations. And then Rebuilding Together in Northern Nevada and Care Chista, Nevada both do sort of income eligible home safety modifications and other things for older adults that can help keep them aging in place longer safely. So that is the sort of meat and potatoes of the efforts that we did just for Older Americans Month. Do you guys have any questions? Anyone on that?
Any questions from our board?
I just got one comment. Joe, I don't take that personally. Thank you.
I do want to thank you, and us caring for our seniors, I think is so important, and education is a huge portion of what you guys do. And so thank you. And I will admit that just yesterday, instead of me falling, I broke a huge portion of my wife's glasses. This is real, because our furniture was too close. So I'm watching this thinking, man, I am 50 though, so that does apply. But it is such a real thing for so many. And so thank you for being out there to care and to be part of that. So we'll continue to grow. Look forward to seeing more. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We ready to go down and take pictures? Okay. Okay, we are now on to public comment. And I know we have a few out there, so if you would like to go ahead and call up
Chair.
who's first, and then maybe the second person can be ready.
Chair, if it's okay, I'd like to read a short regulations on the public comment before we start.
Okay, no problem.
All public comment is limited to 3 minutes per person and should be addressed to the Board of Health as a whole, not an individual. With the exception of public comment agenda items, comments will be heard for items labeled for possible action and should be specific to the item being considered by the board. The District Board of Health conducts the business of Washoe County and its citizens during its meetings. The presiding officer may order the removal of any person whose statement or other conduct disrupts the orderly, efficient, or safe conduct of the meeting. Warnings against disruptive comments or behavior may or may not be given prior to removal. The viewpoint of a speaker will not be restricted, but reasonable restrictions may be imposed upon the time, place, and manner of speech. Irrelevant and unduly repetitious statements and personal attacks which antagonize or incite others are examples of speech that may be reasonably limited. And our first public comment will be from Delise Kavanaugh with Bradley Lind following.
And if you're going to do public comment, feel free to come on down. And I say that because you know it's going to be coming. It might help speed this up a little bit. So don't be shy. We want to hear from you, I promise. We're glad you're here. Sorry? The first one's on Zoom, is that what we said? Okay. Welcome. You want to do a test to make sure we can hear you, and then we'll start your time.
Hi, everyone. My name's Daylise. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Thank you so much.
Oh, perfect. All right. Thanks for having me. Thank you to Reno Roots and everybody who showed up today. Thank you so much. Esteemed members of the Washoe County Health Board, my name is Daylise. My husband is Neil, and together we own Reno Roots Kava and T-Bar. I'm here today to share a story of hope, transformation, and the power of community. It is an honor to address this esteemed board, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to present our vision for bringing a traditional kava business to the Washoe County community with a strong sense of focus on its holistic benefits, sense of community, and as an alcohol alternative. For my husband and me, our journey to sobriety has been a transformative experience spanning 15 years. Along this path, we've discovered the remarkable benefits of kava and its potential to positively impact the well-being of individuals and communities. Let's begin by exploring the holistic benefits of kava. Originating from the South Pacific, kava possesses natural compounds known to promote relaxation, reduce stress, and alleviate anxiety. Unlike alcohol, which often has detrimental effects on our physical and mental health, kava offers a natural and non-addictive alternative for finding peace and calmness in our often hectic lives. By introducing traditional kava, we aim to provide Washoe County residents with a holistic option for relaxation and stress relief, ultimately fostering healthier lifestyles and improving overall well-being. Furthermore, kava holds the power to cultivate a strong sense of community. Traditional kava ceremonies have been an integral part of South Pacific cultures for centuries, serving as a platform for sharing stories, supporting one another, and celebrating life. By embracing the traditional form of consuming kava, we acknowledge and honor the wisdom and experience of these cultures. The ritualistic approach fosters a sense of connection, unity, and shared experience, creating a space where individuals from all walks of life can gather and forge meaningful relationships and find a sense of belonging. As a result, kava bars become a gathering place that cultivates for a vibrant community. In addition to the holistic benefits and sense of community, kava bars serve as a valuable alcohol alternative. Washoe County, like many other communities, faces the challenges of excessive alcohol consumption and its associated health and societal consequences. By offering a traditional, healthy, and enjoyable alternative, we aim to reduce the negative impact of alcohol in our community. Kava bars provide a social setting where individuals can unwind, socialize, and find camaraderie without the harmful consequences often associated with excessive drinking. This fosters a culture of responsible and mindful consumption, promoting healthier choices amongst our residents. In conclusion, our journey of sobriety has led us to recognize the profound benefits of traditional kava. We understand the importance of promoting and supporting initiatives that enhance the well-being of our community, and we believe that introducing a traditional kava business in Washoe County, it will contribute to this goal by providing a natural and non-addictive means of relaxation, honoring cultural heritage.
Ms. Kavanaugh, do you mind just wrapping up your 3
Yep.
minutes? I'm sorry.
Sorry,
It's
I'm
okay.
2 sentences away. Just fostering social connections and offering an alcohol alternative, we can create a positive and inclusive environment. I humbly request your support in bringing the vision to fruition. Together, let us embrace this opportunity and uplift our community, foster a sense of belonging, and promote healthier lifestyles. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you for sharing. Who's next?
Next, we have Bradley Lind, followed by Neil Kavanaugh.
Good afternoon. Hope everyone's doing good today. My name is Bradley Lindy, and today I stand before you to shed light on a topic that is often overlooked, the benefits of kava tea over kava supplements. In our quest for relaxation and stress relief, it is essential to make informed choices that prioritize our well-being. First and foremost, let us consider the safety aspect. Many individuals turn to alcohol, marijuana, or opioids for relaxation, but the consequences can be devastating. In the United States alone, alcohol-related deaths claim an astonishing 88,000 lives each year, while marijuana and opioid-related deaths account for thousands more. Shockingly, there have been no reported deaths directly attributed to kava consumption, making it a much safer choice. The statistics speak for themselves. Choosing kava tea over these other supplements is a responsible decision that can significantly reduce the risk or harm loss of life. It offers a natural and safe alternative to the prevalent substances that plague our society. Furthermore, kava tea provides a multitude of health benefits that extend beyond stress relief. Traditional cultures have recognized and utilized the therapeutic properties of kava for centuries. It has been known to promote relaxation, alleviate anxiety, aid with sleep disorders, and even provide relief for certain types of pain. Kava tea is a natural remedy that can enhance your well-being without the harmful side effects associated with other substances. Moreover, kava tea fosters a sense of community and social bonding, unlike alcohol, which can often lead to negative behaviors and even violence. Kava promotes a peaceful and calm environment. In many traditional ceremonies, kava has been used to facilitate communication, promote harmony, and build connections between individuals. It is a beverage that encourages camaraderie and shared experiences, creating a positive and uplifting atmosphere. In conclusion, the choice between kava tea and kava supplements is clear. By opting for kava tea, we prioritize our safety and well-being while enjoying a natural and effective remedy for stress relief. With no reported deaths attributed to kava consumption, it stands apart from alcohol, marijuana, and opioids in terms of safety. Let us embrace the wisdom of traditional cultures, harnessing the power of kava tea to foster relaxation, promote community, and lead us to a healthier and happier future. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Lindy.
Next, we have Neil Kavanaugh, followed by Zach Palika.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Neil Kavanaugh. That was my wife up there. We own Reno Roots Kava and Tea Bar. I started Reno Roots Kava and Tea Bar about 6 months ago to bring kava community that I have learned to enjoy back in my hometown to Reno. I now live in Florida. I brought it back here. After initially approving the sale of kava and tea, the health department reversed course and denied the request. The Washoe County Health Department should allow Reno Roots, Reno Kava and Tea Bar to serve kava as a tea. First and foremost, let us consider the safety aspect. Many individuals turn to marijuana or opioids for relaxation and alcohol, but the consequences can be devastating in the United States alone. Alcohol-related deaths claim over 88,000 lives each year, while marijuana and opioids, it's the same thing that he said, account for thousands of more. The statistics speak for themselves. Choosing kava tea over the other substances is a responsible decision that can significantly reduce the risk of harm and loss of life. It offers a natural and safe alternative to the prevalent substances that plague our society in Reno. Furthermore, kava tea provides a multitude of health benefits that extend beyond stress relief. Traditional cultures have recognized and utilized therapeutic properties in kava for centuries. It has been known to promote relaxation, alleviate anxiety, aid with sleep disorders, and even provide relief from certain types of pain. Kava tea is a natural remedy that can enhance your well-being without the harmful side effects associated with other substances. Serving kava as tea is on legal footing both locally and nationally. I hired an attorney that specializes in kava law. The letter from him was from Venable Firm, was turned into the health department, explained how the sale of kava is legal in every jurisdiction in the United States. As long as the FDA wholesale vendors are being used, when asked, every other jurisdiction has allowed hundreds of kava bars to be open and serve as a tea. We have seen examples of the compromise before in kava bars operating in Miami-Dade, San Diego, even Nevada counties like Clark, and also in Douglas County. So we're asking that we can serve kava as a tea. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Zach?
Mr. Kavanaugh, will you make sure to get my business card so that we can meet at some point in time outside of this meeting?
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Followed by Dylan Faulkner.
Hi, guys. My name is Zach Palika. I am here in wanting to open kava or have kava in Reno. I went to the University of Nevada, Reno, and I ended up becoming addicted to nicotine. And so I moved to Nashville. I don't live here now, but I did end up quitting that addiction, and kava was what really helped me down in Nashville. And like they had said, it's another alternative to drinking and smoking, and I have been sober from nicotine and smoking. So just wanted to say that story and make it simple and quick. So thank you guys for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, Chairman and members of the board. My name is Dylan Faulkner. Like Zach before me, I attended the University of Nevada, Reno first 10 years ago when I first moved up here from Las Vegas. During that time, I was one of the first members of the Living Learning Community, the LLC dorm. That year was the first year that had been opened. Despite that being a community that fostered a sense of prioritizing education and shunning away from much of the other party aspects of the university, partying was still prevalent throughout, including on the engineering floor where I resided. During that time, I had no real intentions of getting drunk every weekend, but like most students, that is what happened because that was the socially acceptable norm for how to socialize, how to fraternize, how to experience the college environment. With the addition of a kava bar, not yet serving kava, but the possibility of serving it, students like myself who had no intention of actually seeking out harmful substances to try and fraternize and just wanted to experience a sense of community, a sense of what college in a new environment was like, provides a safe alternative that does not have any kind of negative repercussions involved in it. Kava itself is an entirely safe supplement, and as a tea isn't even a supplement. In fact, if you were to consider the way that it is served traditionally as a supplement, you would have to consider both coffee and regular tea as a supplement in the same form as it is brewed through water. There's no difference in the preparation methods. It is the exact same thing, so you would have to classify coffee as a supplement of caffeine for that same method. It's to look at traditional kava as a supplement being diluted through water. With kava as a natural alternative to these things, it creates a safe environment where students can go and enjoy college education, college lifestyles, and not be pressured into experiencing the negatives of getting drunk, getting hungover, having all of these issues associated with college campuses that honestly continue to still be issues. I just want to say that it is an entirely healthy, natural, and wonderful drink that fosters a sense of community, like much of the others have said. I really hope that you look at this and agree to serve it for us. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Faulkner.
Peggy Palika, followed by Sandra Kavanaugh.
Good afternoon. My name is Peggy Palika. I'm a native Nevadan, and I'm here to speak about Reno Roots Kava Bar. There are hundreds of kava bars across the United States, including one in Las Vegas. Austin, Texas also recently approved it in their city. This isn't a beverage served to minors. It's served to people over 18 years of age. Therefore, being across from the college is a really good location for his kava bar. For me, kava provides focus and ease of anxiety. In a state where it's legal to smoke cannabis, and now we're trying to legalize cannabis lounges, it's really confusing why Neil isn't allowed to serve kava. I worked 21 years at the city of Reno, and I understand NRS. Our job was to help the citizens, not close doors on them. Neil has requested many documents from the health department in writing, and they have not adhered to the NRS by providing information within the 5 days or at all. And he has done it several times. I helped him write the emails, and he has yet to get the information. So they are closing the doors in his face. They are not meeting with him, and they are not helping him, which is what I was understanding the health department would do. So if they're treating Neil this way, how are they treating other businesses coming here? This is, anyway, Neil is hiring employees, he's providing jobs, and I would just hope that you guys would take a second to, review it and allow him to serve kava. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Sandra Kavanaugh, followed by Peyton Friels.
Good afternoon. My name is Sandra Kavanaugh. I'm Neil Kavanaugh's mother, and my daughter-in-law spoke. I love them dearly, and I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I worked for 25 years for the Reno Police Department doing crime analysis. So on that, I went to Florida to visit them, and my son really, really wanted to start a business. I said, okay, tell me all about it. He says, it's kava bar. I'd never heard of kava. I said, tell me all about it. He told me, and I was like, okay. He says, Mom, let's go. The atmosphere when we got there, hello, come on in. It was like a family. I was like, oh my goodness. The people came before work to have kava. They came after work to have kava. They came during their lunchtime to have kava. Sometimes on the weekend you would see the same people there, and sometimes they would come at night to drink kava because it helps with sleep. I, for years, have had problems sleeping. I have a lot of injuries and such. So chamomile tea has always been my standby tea. But I found Yogi kava stress relief. I swear to you, I sleep like a baby when I have this tea at night. Now, this isn't the original that I could have in Florida or if my son had his business, but it helps. Now, this box has never been opened. There's 16 different bags in here, and you're more than welcome to try it. I'm going to leave this here if anybody would like to try it, but I'm telling you, it is a godsend to be able to sleep at night without nightmares, without pain, and wake up without the hangover of a pill. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Followed by Raina Irwin.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Peyton Friels. I am currently an employee at Reno Roots Kava and Tea Bar. As someone who is currently attending the University of Nevada, Reno, I have been surrounded by students who choose to vape, do marijuana, opioids, drink heavily, and as someone who has been thrust into that atmosphere, not choosing or wanting to be associated with any of that, it has caused me to want to be in those atmospheres socially without the consumption of alcohol. I have seen it firsthand, the negative effects that it can take, and I've been on the receiving end of the not so pretty things associated with those alcoholic beverages. So as someone who has discovered and learned about kava bars being in Florida, San Diego, Austin, Texas, it would provide an alternative for me to still be able to attend and enjoy those establishments without the pressure of drinking, vaping, use of marijuana. I've always been wanting to find some sort of alternative to those environments because that's where all my friends go. And to be in that social group, but at the same time socially outcast because I choose not to drink, it puts a lot of pressure on me, gives me anxiety and stress. And as someone who has clinical anxiety, clinical depression, kava tea and kava supplements would help me in terms of just being able to relax and enjoy myself and enjoy my life and my life decisions without the judgment of others, silent or vocalized. So I appreciate you hearing my little bit here, and hope you really consider my boss letting him serve kava. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Fields.
Raina Irwin.
Good afternoon, you guys. My name is Raina Irwin, and I'm here to support Neil and his business. About a year and a half ago, my boyfriend at the time unfortunately passed away. I found it very difficult to deal with the emotions that I was going through, and without community, I turned to alcohol. I struggled with this for about a year. It was night drinking and then quickly turned into day drinking. After meeting Neil and the community that his business offers, that changed for me. I no longer drink, and instead of reaching for a bottle, I can reach for kava, something that doesn't leave me feeling gross or toxic or hungover. It makes me feel whole and healthy. It has also really helped my depression and my ability to deal with strong emotions that I go through. And then the community that it offers also helps me to still deal with these emotions and feel better without reaching for something that is toxic for me. I really hope that you guys consider bringing in kava to our community, as I feel that it has greatly improved my quality of life. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We have no more public comment at this time.
Thank you so much for all coming. One of the things I just want you to know process-wise, we can't comment because it's not agendized and things of that fashion. And so we will, as a board, continue to walk forward with you. But I really appreciate you coming, and do know that we do listen to everyone who comes in here. Thank you.
Chair, we apologize. We have Mr. Joe Rashid trying to make comment via Zoom.
Is he on Zoom?
He is.
Hello.
Hi. Greetings, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Joe Rashid, and I'd just like to request your permission to speak on the behalf of kava's benefits.
Go for it.
Thank you much. I've just got kind of a short oration to give, but I'm all in favor of kava being servable in Washoe County as like a, steeped tea beverage in its like natural traditional presentation. That's how it's served in like the Polynesian communities it's spread out across from in origin. As a person who's also like firsthand experienced, struggles with sobriety from opioids and alcohol, I found kava in like my home state of North Carolina to be a healthy alternative to both of those substances. I wouldn't be sober and clean without it. I believe, it possesses the ability to foster a sense of community and mildly relieve anxiety without intoxication. When it's presented as a tea, there are more natural plant alkaloids, and they offer a variety of benefits to mental and physical health. Kava supplements themselves lack these. There have also been no deaths attributed to kava, and in summation, I believe that you should consider giving Neil permission to serve it at his Reno Roots establishment.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to go ahead and close public comment unless there's anybody else. Again, thank you for coming, and don't feel like you have to stay unless you want to. We have a lot of other things we talk about, but you are welcome to join us.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to consent items, and I'm going to go ahead and say I would like to pull 8B1, 8B2, and 8BC. Did I say that right? 8C, sorry. So if we can have a motion for that, I just want to comment on them quickly. And does somebody else have something else they'd like to pull as well? Can I have a motion on that?
The remaining items?
Go ahead and, let's go ahead and approve the remaining items, and then I'll chat through those other ones.
All the items except the ones pulled by Chairman Dare.
Thank you. Can I have a second? And all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you so much. And I'll just click through these real quick of what I wanted to share to our board and to everybody. Some of it has to do with historical information. We do, anytime someone does an appeal for any penalties, it goes to an advisory board, which is wonderful. And we've worked pretty diligently to make sure our advisory boards are representative of our whole community. I would say the one thing I just want to remind us on the 8B1 and 8B2 ones is keeping track of, if we have someone who is a continued, they break the rules more often than others. How would I say that? One of the things, if we're not careful, our fees, if it drops too low, it makes it easier for them not to do it and just pay the fee, because it's cheaper for them to do that than get a water truck or do what they're supposed to do. And so one of the things I just want to remind our advisory board and to us, that as these come, it's something for us to keep an eye on, of making sure that people are following this. There's a reason we do ask for people to do the proper watering and the different things. And so that's why I wanted to bring attention to that and make sure that we were noticing on that. Is there any questions on that? Okay. And then with 8C, I do want to highlight, and part of this is because sometimes people don't know with government, sometimes this is a waiver that came, and Mr. Dick, if you want to explain a little bit, because I think it's important that we understand this came and it was something that was a larger fee and it got reduced, and I appreciate that as well.
Yeah, this one, the waiver from our Swiss board, we call it, was for a person that bought a piece of property. It was within 400 feet of sewer, and our regulations call for them to connect to sewer in those circumstances. And the cost of that sewer connection was prohibitive and way out of line with the value of the property that they had purchased. And so because of that, the board heard the waiver request and granted that variance from the regulations. So that's how our system's supposed to work. And I think it's a good opportunity to make people aware of that.
Mr. Reese, do you have something to share?
No, I'm just wanting to make sure that we get our motions correctly. I know we'll have to go each one. Is that what you're wanting to do, Mr. Chair?
We can do that. I just wanted to bring it up in conversation to make sure we understood in the future as we go, and kind of keep an eye on our fee structure, and then also highlight a good job done on the one. So we can do we need to do them separately now?
I think a couple options here. Now, following what you've done, I think because you're not deciding them separately, you probably could have made the comments under the consent agenda and approved it in bulk.
Gotcha.
But as it is, it probably is better to approve them separately at this point.
So we'll just quickly go through then. 8B1, do I have a motion or?
Move to approve.
First, do I have a second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. We'll go to 8B2.
Move to approve.
I have first. Second. I have a second. I think John beat you to it. And all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. And then I'll go to 8C. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
I have a first. I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for indulging me on that. And let's go ahead and go to 9, end of consent. So we're at 9 with David Kelly, staff representation. Presentation and report regarding updates to the Truckee Meadows Source Water and Watershed Protection Plan with the District Board of Health provided from March 2017. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon. Chair Dare and members of the board, my name is David Kelly. I'm a supervisor in environmental health services. You won't have to listen to me long, but today I have the pleasure of introducing to you Jill Sutherland and Kara Steeland. They're going to provide you on an update on the Truckee Meadows Source Water Protection Program. program designed to improve and maintain drinking water within the region. Jill is a senior engineer and board member at Resource Concepts Incorporated. She has managed technical assistance contract for NDEP's Integrated Source Water Protection Program for over 10 years and has been working with partners in Washoe County since 2016. Cara Steelan joined Tumwa as a hydrologist in 2016 and helped lead the development of Tumwa's Source Water Protection Program to protect surface water and groundwater in the Truckee River watershed. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Jill and Cara. Thank you.
How do we advance this?
Welcome, thank you.
I'm going to go with that or that.
Okay.
And if you need help, there.
Excellent. Good afternoon, board members. It's great to be here. As Dave said, we are NDEP's contractor for the Integrated Source Water Protection Program, and we provide technical assistance communities statewide on source water protection. It's been a real pleasure working with the communities here in Washoe County. We started the planning effort in 2017, and we wrapped it up in 2020 while you all were busy doing a lot of other things. It's 2023. What's been accomplished since then? We thought you'd like to know that it's been a lot. Let's see. So, source water protection is the first line of defense in providing healthy, safe drinking water to the public. Planning for source water protection is your community planning to keep your sources of drinking water from becoming contaminated. Because the Truckee Meadows relies both on the aquifers and the Truckee River for your sources of drinking water. Source water protection goes hand in hand with watershed management and the non-point source pollution program to protect that surface water from the Truckee River. Here's a list of the partners that were involved in this planning effort. It was fantastic, and we really want to congratulate you not only for completing this plan, but also for continuing to implement this plan. We recently assisted with an update. If you haven't looked at it, check out WashoeCountyCleanWater.org. This website has PDFs and interactive mapping that comprise this countywide plan. The Truckee Meadows Regional Planning Agency hosts this website on their server, and they are also the website development and data management wizards that keep it looking good. They've made some recent updates, so it's much more functional and eye-catching and easier to use. District Health was integral in this planning process from the start. I want to thank all the staff that participated at the time. We didn't get the chance to come back before the board in 2020 and tell you what a fantastic job they did. You were busy, but at least we can come back now and tell you that this is a living plan. Recently, the district health folks in environmental health services reviewed over 100 wells for over 75 active water systems, small water systems, not including Tumwa and Washoe County, to help us update the mapping and data that's displayed on this website. Tumwa's been a great partner. They recently updated their aquifer modeling, and their GIS department provided us some fantastic mapping that you'll see on the website. And we also added an implementation tracking process to the website to really celebrate all the things that this community continues to do. Through the plan, we developed these project profiles, and basically that's kind of the action plan that people have been moving forward on. A couple of the things that were accomplished in 2022. The Spill Coordination Working Group was a great multi-jurisdictional group. We've been meeting for 2 years now periodically to talk about ways to improve communication when we have a spill or cleanup in the vicinity of source water, a well or the Truckee River, basically. great participation from NDEP, Reno, Sparks Environmental Control, Department of Transportation, District Health, and among others. The communication process. Oops, skipped one. In 2022, the Bureau of Safe Drinking Water provided about $20,000 to Sierra Nevada Journeys to help include a better drinking water message in their amazing watershed education program. The Truckee Meadows Stormwater Permit Coordinating Committee, they continue monitoring and watershed restoration efforts. They have some projects ongoing that were funded by 319 money and Chalk Creek. And One Truckee River has been a great partner. And with that, I'll bring up Cara Steelan because she's really closely involved with them.
Sorry. Thank you, Jill. Good afternoon, Chair and board members. I just have a few more quick topics to cover on our source water protection program. So One Truckee River, like Jill mentioned, has been an amazing partner that implements many programs to protect water quality, especially in the urban corridor. They have their Truckee River Coordinated Vegetation Management Plan, which has worked with all 3 jurisdictions to try to improve vegetation management along the river to help improve water quality. Also, the River Friendly Landscaping Program, which is a public outreach program to help homeowners understand how their irrigation and lawn care practices can impact water quality in the river and tributaries and storm drains. And then the multi-jurisdictional signage plan was installed over the last couple years, and I'm sure you've seen the signs along the river. And then I'll talk in a little bit more detail about the Truckee River Restroom Project. So this is a project profile from the website Jill mentioned. It's part of the plan. And so TUMWA has been closely involved with One Truckee River to install more public restrooms along the river, along with all of the amazing partners. And so we installed a restroom at Broadhead Park in 2020, an additional restroom in March of this year at John Champion Park, and a third one will be installed at City Plaza Reno City Plaza in 2024. TUMWA's involvement in this came because we were concerned about water quality upstream of our Glendale water intake. And so we've been partnering on that. And what's really great about this project actually being included in the plan is it opened up the door to receive 319 funding. Since it's a 319 approved plan, it opened up Clean Water Act funding that we wouldn't have been eligible for otherwise. So that helped fund the installation of the second restroom. And then this is a little more technical, but this has actually just been a great outcome of the planning process and then the implementation. So prior to this notification tool I'm going to talk about, TUMWA wasn't really notified if there are new businesses within its source water protection areas that could have potentially contaminating uses. So what we did during it, just the timing really worked out with City of Reno in 2021 or in 2020 during their Title 18 code update process. After their master planning process, we were able to add a source water protection component. And what that does is it requires businesses under 14 different potentially contributing use types. So businesses we might be concerned with, you can kind of see listed here on the graph. So industrial uses, auto service and repair, commercial cleaners, those kinds of things. They have to basically come to TUMWA's website. We created a new form for people to fill out. The business owner fills out that form. And then they'll receive an automated email. And the automated email is what they have to include in their business license application. But then on our end, what happens is it gets filtered through a geographic filter, so we know what their use type is and where it's located. And on the map here, you can see we have our wellhead capture zones around they're the 2010 5 and 2 year capture zones, and then a closer buffer to the river, and then the larger area, the purple, is areas where the aquifer could potentially be contaminated. But what we're really concerned with is those businesses in the critical source water protection areas, so within a close buffer to the river and tributaries, and then within the capture zones. So when those come to us, what we do is we don't have any regulatory authority, but what we do is we reach out to those businesses and let them know, hey, you're in a source water protection area. You need to make sure that you're following all local, state, and federal guidelines when it comes to things like BMPs and underground storage tanks. And we point point them to, the sources that they can look at to make sure they're following those regulations, and all of the great work you guys do on the health district side and environmental services to make sure that's happening. But we're basically just putting businesses on notice and saying, hey, you're in the community's drinking water supply. You need to make sure that you are, protecting it for all of us. And so you can see on the graph here, we received 118 notifications in 2022 and contacted 37 of those businesses based on their geographic area and use type. And it also provides us with a database of businesses. So we know if a gas station's within, 300 feet of our well now. So we at least have that information available to us so we can, potentially track things like VOCs or other contaminants that could be of concern. And our main goal for 2023 is to start to expand this program into Washoe County and Sparks. We're actively working with Washoe County right now through their master plan process to get that information included in the master plan and then potentially in the code. And a final note, the program actually won a national award in 2022. It won the Exemplary Source Water Protection Award from the American Water Works Association. So it's a nationally recognized program, which is pretty great. And thanks to all of our partners, and that wasn't a TOMA award, that was really for everyone that's been involved in this process for the last 6 years. And we are also actively working with TMRPA to incorporate this source water protection into regional planning efforts as well. And with that, we would be happy to take any questions or comments from the board. Thank you.
Any questions from the board or comments? I would say thank you, Reno, for leading the way on that. That's a great example on it. I think I know we have 10,000 people out there listening to all of our words on Zoom, but it's just so important we continue to collaborate and work together. And it's not just for today, but it's for the generations to come. So great job, and we appreciate it. Thank you. We will continue on we have presentation on Washoe County's Ozone Advanced Program from Brendan Schneider. Come on down.
All right. Good afternoon, District Board of Health Chair, Brendan Schneider, Senior Air Quality Specialist for Air Quality Management. So I'm here to talk about our Ozone Advanced Program. First off, let's talk about what ozone is. Ground level ozone is an invisible gas, truly a light blue in color gas. It's an air pollutant at ground level. It's good up high for the ozone layer, bad down here. Ozone peaks in the afternoons during hot, sunny summer days. It needs nitrogen oxides and volatile organic compounds to form in the presence of sunlight. Unfortunately for us, we have plenty of both of those things from a variety of sources, including motor vehicles and industry. So what can ozone do to you? Well, it causes a variety of health issues. Being a strong oxidant means breathing elevated levels is much like a sunburn on your lungs. Repeated exposure can cause permanent lung damage, reduced lung function, and scar tissue. High levels can exacerbate asthma and other lung diseases. So a little history about ozone in Washoe County. We've been monitoring for ozone for 47 years in Washoe County. In 1991, the EPA officially designated Washoe County as a non-attainment area, meaning residents weren't breathing healthy levels of ozone. That designation was rescinded in the late 90s after a series of court decisions. Since then, we have been designated as attainment for all ozone national ambient air quality standards, aka the NAAQS, including revisions in 2008 and 2015. And I'll talk about what attainment, non-attainment means later. So these are the national ambient air quality standards in the middle two columns. The levels are in that one where it says, 0.070 ppm. That's the standard that we're held to today. These standards are set by the EPA to protect public health and the environment. Every 5 years, a scientific panel using health-based studies determines whether to proceed with strengthening, discontinuing, retaining, or beginning a NAAQS. This then gets input from industry, the states, and the public, and is ultimately decided by EPA. Recently, EPA decided to retain the 2015 ozone standard in its current level and form. This means that despite our area violating the NAAQS, we will not be designated as non-attainment. This means we barely avoided a catastrophe for the regulated community, local governments, and economic development. We could all point to wildfire smoke as the main culprit to our ozone woes, but is much more complex than that. In fact, if you magically removed all the wildfire smoke influenced days, we still will likely be violating the current level. We did magically remove some of the days, 3 of them for the 2015 revision from regulatory and planning decision-making via exceptional event demonstrations, which made the line for Reno from 2015 to 2017 flat. But according to our analysis now, we would likely not be successful in excluding data with exceptional event demonstrations in any future ozone NAAQS strengthening. All right, attainment, non-attainment. Non-attainment is an exclusive club of EPA designations you do not want to be a member of. It can be a decision point for businesses whether they will develop in a region or not. There is a potential and a loss of federal construction dollars for roads and highways. Voluntary measures could be made mandatory and enforced by air quality in the future. This all may sound sort of doom and gloom, but there have been some small victories along the way since we started our Ozone Advanced program. So this is sort of the air quality management circle, which always starts with monitoring the air. And currently we are in that maintain EPA standards portion of it. We attain all air pollutants we monitor for. We need to make sure that we maintain the NAAQS via monitoring, compliance, and enforcement. Ozone Advance is a voluntary program that can help ensure we keep attaining the NAAQS without the unfortunate consequences of going non-attainment. All right. So what is Ozone Advance? It's really a plan that has some goals that we would like to see implemented in Washoe County to really reduce all the different things that cause ozone to form. So in order to preserve and improve air quality, we became an Ozone Advanced participant with the EPA in 2016. We joined dozens of other states and local governments in doing so. All local governing boards accepted, adopted, or passed resolutions in the months after, including the District Board of Health, Regional Planning, City of Reno, City of Sparks, BCC, and RTC. Although this was a great start to the program, not much has changed to help us achieve these goals since 2016. These goals are reducing on-road mobile sources, or the emissions from them, reduce non-road mobile source emissions, reduce urban heat island impacts, increase energy efficiency in homes and businesses, and educating and empowering leaders like I'm trying to do today. Ozone Advance in our area really boils down to reducing VMTs, which is vehicle miles traveled, tailpipe emissions, and urban heat island. These 3 will have the biggest impact on reducing ground level ozone in our area. So here are some strategies we have done and need more buy-in for. Motor vehicle emissions are typically dealt with via federal air pollution standards, meaning state and local governments are limited in what they can do to reduce tailpipe emissions. States and locals can implement an inspection and maintenance program, also known as a smog check program, that can provide some emission reductions. With the recent passage of closing the classic vehicle loophole, less higher emitting cars will be operating in Washoe County. This is a victory for all of our lungs and in helping reduce ozone-causing emissions. Unfortunately, this also means some citizens of Washoe County may not have the vehicle that passes smog or can be considered a classic vehicle per the new law. Funding a repair and replace program like other air districts have done can help address some of the inequities of this NRS revision. for encouraging electric vehicle use. Having EV-ready homes would be a great thing in this area. EV-ready homes is basically a 240-volt outlet, similar to like an outlet you use for an electric clothes dryer, just in a garage. Clark County recently considered that in December, and I believe they adopted it. Is that true? They adopted it so that all new single-family homes are required to have a 240-volt outlet in their garages. We had that opportunity in Reno a couple years ago when they adopted new building codes, but that was not part of the recent adoption. Reducing sprawl, build up, not out, and encouraging redevelopment with vertical growth are all sort of ways that the built environment can be done to reduce motor vehicle miles traveled. For outlying Tier 2 and Tier 3 areas, increasing transportation choices becomes much more of a need. Our car-dependent area has consequences for our quality of life and wallets, and our air quality. Encouraging smart trip programs like RTC has for large employers is one way to help by having carpool, vanpool, bus, biking, and walking modes of transportation. Another part of this is the urban heat island effect. The image on the side there is an analysis that NASA did for us in 2018, looking at the urban heat island and its sort of worsening conditions in the Truckee Meadows. Reno is the fastest warming city in the United States. Its current urban tree canopy is 5 to 6%, with a goal of 10%. Other areas are doing much better than that. We can do better by planting more trees and maintaining existing ones, especially near roadways, parking lots, and shared use paths, which can be a win-win for our community. Trees help reduce temperature and are natural filters for air pollution. Another part of this too is cool roofs and walls. They absorb less energy and help reduce energy use and costs. By having white or light colored building surfaces, it can make a sizable difference to both our air quality, energy use, and wallets. I feel like I'm repeating that. All right, takeaways. Non-attainment means negative economic and public health impacts. We want to avoid that at all costs. Voluntary ozone advanced strategies today, or they'll become mandatory tomorrow. You can support this in air quality by supporting all the regional plans that have implemented and included ozone advanced measures. So with that, I can answer any questions.
Any comments, questions from our board? Mr. Novak.
On your urban heat island, encourage less hardscaping.
Yeah.
You're being told by the water conservation people to hardscape, put something else out there. So where are we going to go with that one? Because that still basically falls under your department.
So hardscaping, we've been talking about that in sort of including, say, more landscaping within parking lots to use and slow down the water flow to the rivers. That can also do other things, but that's not sort of our air quality aspect of it, but.
I can see both.
Yeah.
I think the problem is there's unintended consequences both ways, and so both have their reason. I want to just, one of the things I want to add, thank you so much. This is actually one of the responsibilities we have as a health board that I'm glad that we continue to get updates and understand. Before COVID hit, just a little history for you guys, we had a meeting with a lot of our stakeholders and we're ready to move forward on a few things. And then COVID hit and those conversations died out. There are probably some more conversations that need to be had, even with economic development and new people coming in, and even with some of our electeds again across the board. And so I would encourage us to do so. I'm glad to hear we're in attainment. That is very good, but that could change, obviously, pretty easily. And so thank you so much. I appreciate it. This is is quite important. And I know we do have, which board member is assigned to this group? Do we remember? Dr. Clacking, very good, very good. So I'd ask that you continue as you learn more. If there's anything we don't, feel free to bring back information of how we can help. But if we do have that meeting again with our stakeholders, I'll have that and I'll invite you to that table. So thank you.
Thank you.
Do you need us to vote on this, or just a, thank you? Okay. Moving on, we are to Regional Emergency and Medical Services Authority, 11A. Recommendation to accept the REMSA Health Operations Report for April 2023. Adam Hines.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the Board of Health. Adam Hines, Chief Operating Officer for REMSA Health. This week, Mr. DeBlanis, he'll be back next month. He's celebrating the graduation of his daughter from Yale, who's going to be a new midwife. You have our submitted franchise compliance report for the month of April before you. If I may, I'd like to highlight a few things. It is EMS week. Last board meeting, we recognized that, but our organization is so fortunate to have nearly 600 individuals on staff working every day in our community to provide high-quality, compassionate, and clinically excellent care. Our team and, frankly, the community has worked very hard to recognize the efforts of these men and women. And I know Director Jobson is going to share some additional information about that, but I wanted to take the opportunity to thank Chairman Dare, Vice Chair Reese, Member Novak, Health Officer Dick, and all of the other elected officials, co-response partners, community members that were able to attend our annual EMS Awards event. For those of you that had the opportunity to attend, 43 deserving individuals were recognized to represent just really only a fraction of the amazing work that happens every single day in this community. That event every year makes me very proud and my cheeks hurt. And a lot of the times we come before you and appropriately discuss a lot of data points, but it's really about the people, the men and women that are providing that care. This morning, I had the opportunity to go over to St. Mary's and participate in a Code Save event where they recognize the responders, starting at dispatch all the way through discharge for individuals that suffered out-of-hospital cardiac arrest. 90% of those patients typically die, and so it's a very small number of people, and it takes a very concerted, coordinated, quality system to be able to provide them the best chance. And at this particular award ceremony, there were, I believe, 5 crews that were recognized that include our dispatchers, our first responders, as well as our co-responders, as well as the nursing and physician team. And it started with the 911 call. And we were able to listen to the care that's being provided that is essentially a zero response time so that we can buy time, we can move blood, we can perfuse tissue until a professional rescuer arrives on the scene and is able to take over. I was filled with emotion because we do it every day. We don't necessarily think about it, but I was extremely proud. And Dr. Danko was there. She was able to participate in that, and it just filled my heart. And I want this board to have confidence in the caliber and quality of care. Not anybody can do it. Not anybody can pick up the phone and provide care. Not anybody can just respond and do what they see on TV. It definitely takes standards and training and collaboration and support from this board. And so I'm very, very, very appreciative of that. Then I went to lunch and I was able to celebrate at the Nevada Women's Fund 2 of our women leaders, Miss Jenny Walters, who's our EMS manager, and our accounting manager, Dora Perkinson. You're talking about 1,500 plus individuals in our community that are being recognized, and so I'm very proud of those 2 leaders at our organization. Few operational updates. It's summertime, and or it's getting to be summertime. It feels very warm out there, and it's special event season, and so you'll begin to see our special event crews around the community. I believe we're deploying our bike team this weekend so that we can ensure that we have a rapid response as Memorial Day weekend. And then our Regional Dispatch Center officially submitted their portfolio for consideration to become an accredited Center of Excellence for fire dispatching, so I'm very proud of them. Once conferred, or awarded. Remsa Health will be the only Tri-ACE center in the world, right here in Washoe County, having emergency medical dispatch, emergency fire dispatch, and emergency communication nurses system. Will be the only one in the world. So we'll be very proud of that. And then finally, just a comment to Chief Brown. Last meeting, we talked about the 800. You had asked about the 800 system and the radio system. And so I went back, I had a conversation with our information technology director. He is working directly with Quinn to better understand what that looks like so that we can see how we can participate. So I wanted to just be responsive to that. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions?
I don't have a question, but can I make a comment?
100%.
I just wanted to share, thank you so much for everything that you do. I, am very much wanting to honor EMS Week, and I constantly talk about the frontline heroes, and it even goes along with our proclamation of the Stop the Bleed as well. And so many people can be those frontline heroes. I am constantly advocating for people who run towards those emergencies in times of need, and to provide compassion and dedication to serving people who are unwell in those moments. And so I actually brought the videos. I plan to play them for the board and for anybody who is listening out there on Zoom and here in the room. So if anybody can stick around till the board comment portion, I actually brought the videos on behalf of St. Mary's that we played, because it also touched me as much as it did you. So
thank you, Dr. Danko.
Very good. I'd like to say, and this is, and obviously your family's not listening, but I think EMS Week goes beyond just our first responders. I think it goes right into their families, husband, wives, children, you name it, and just the sacrifices that are made. I don't know that they're appreciated enough, and so thank you. Okay, we need to accept this. Do I have a motion? I have a first. Second. And all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And passes unanimously. Thank you so much. We'll let Barry know you did okay. Thank you. You're welcome. We're at 11B, update of Remsa Health's public relations during April 2023. I think he stole your thunder, but I could be wrong.
I know we were kind of arguing about who got to say what today, because there was so much good news to share. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Alexia Jobson, Director of Public Relations. For the record, you have for your review April's Public Relations Report. I'd like to share a couple of other more recent updates with you. As Mr. Hines mentioned, it is EMS Week, and we are hosting a variety of celebrations and events to recognize the outstanding and meaningful work of our paramedics, EMTs, nurses, dispatchers, and staff that they do every day in the communities we serve. I will share with you that local businesses and partners have generously supported Remsa Health with more than $10,000 in cash donations and more than $12,000 in-kind donations, such as gift cards and prizes. We're very grateful for that. From the awards event to the chair massages, from the EMS Skills Olympics to the Grill and Chill Barbecue, where we hosted our fire and law enforcement partners throughout the county, we have had an extraordinary week. We have also received EMS Week media coverage on all 3 local television stations, and we anticipate a feature in the RGJ in the coming days as well. In fact, we were so anxious to get started celebrating our dedicated and hardworking providers and staff. We started last week with a visitor from the governor and First Lady, where they presented a proclamation proclaiming EMS Week in the state of Nevada as May 21st through the 27th. They visited our Care Flight Operations Division, as well as our ground operations and our internationally accredited dispatch center. He was, as you will all be very happy to know, very complimentary of how we manage, and I'm quoting, EMS in the northern part of the state. So that was great to hear. Last week, Chief Operating Officer Hines accepted, on behalf of Remsa Health, the Spirit of Unity Award from the School of Public Health at the University of Nevada, Reno. The award recognizes collaborative and innovative public health leaders that bring together all disciplines to address public health challenges. Our organization appreciates this honor. Earlier this week, Remsa Health was recognized at the NCET EDON Tech Awards and Showcase as the NCET Medical Health Services Company of the Year. Tomorrow, one of our search and rescue paramedics will be interviewed by Terry Russell at Channel 8 about how to properly build out your summertime first aid kit. And as Mr. Hines mentioned, we were thrilled to celebrate Accounting Manager Adora Perkerson and Education Manager Jenny Walters at today's Women of Achievement event with 1,400 community members in attendance, honoring about 75 other women as well. So very proud of that. I'm available to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions or comments? Thank you so much. It was great to be with you guys, and you guys did a great job.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us this week and celebrating with us.
We're on to 11C, presentation, discussion, and possible approval of the Washoe County Emergency Medical Services Strategic Plan 2023 to 2028. Hello, Miss Sabrina.
Good afternoon.
Braswell.
Close, I'll take it.
Okay.
Sabrina Braswell, for the record, EMS Coordinator for the Washoe County Health District. Today, I'd like to give you a brief presentation giving a little bit of an overview to the upcoming EMS Oversight Program Strategic Plan for the years 2023 to 2028, which I have before you today for review and approval. Thank you. The strategic plan is a requirement of the 2014 interlocal agreement requiring the maintenance of a 5-year strategic plan. It also aligns the EMS and fire agency unification around common shared goals. May I have an advance? Does it work? Thank you. How did we get here? We reviewed previous plan goals and objectives, reviewed the outcomes of those previous goals, including the carryover of several of them as a result of non-completion, and also researching EMS strategic plans for other systems, both similar and different to those in Washoe County. And most recently, this was presented at MSAB for approval to bring here to the District Board of Health. This is a graphic representing the goals, objectives, and strategies that encompass the strategic plan this year. This is a common icon, if you will, or model that's been used throughout the strategic plans presented. So it's a continuation of that visual, but updated to reflect the current plan. The 7 goals for 2023 to 2028 focus in 3 primary areas: practitioner safety, operational efficiencies, and clinical care. These were done with a lens of health equity as well as public health concerns. So all of these goals specifically were done with that lens and that visual. The first is practitioner safety. This is a promotion of EMS culture of safety. This includes infection control, driver safety, among others. The next goal outline is operational efficiencies. Goal number 2 is automatic vehicle location, AVL. This is a carryover. Goal number 4, radio communications and CAD-to-CAD interface. This is also a similar carryover. And goal number 6, strategic plan tracking, creation, and MCI plan revision. This is part of a carryover. The MCI plan revision was an addition. In light of dispatch and regionalization discussions, caveats have been put into the statements of 3 of the goals. Goal 2 and Goal 6 have a statement specifying once regional discussions have concluded, these goals and objectives will be updated to support the regionalization discussion outcomes, And goal number 4, which is specific to the CAD-to-CAD, has a caveat that is with additional language stating once regionalization discussions have concluded, these goals and objectives will be updated to support the regionalization discussion outcomes specific to CAD. We feel that this creates the opportunity to be mindful of anything that comes out of those conversations and discussions and be able to insert those without major revisions to the plan. Goal number 6 speaks to strategic plan process tracking. New to this opportunity is the ability to create via web browser Microsoft Project Online, the ability for all partners engaged to have real-time updates. Instead of requesting an update as you frantically write a report for your supervisors, you'll be able to log on and get a real-time snippet, both with a individualized based on each goal, as well as paired to what you are responsible for, either as an agency representative or your agency as a whole, which allows easier communication, tracking of assignments, and progress in real time. The final overarching theme is clinical care. It has 3 goals as well. Goal number 3, regional community paramedicine program. Goal number 5, improved continuity of care via CQI or a continuing quality improvement process and annual reporting. And goal number 7, creating that continuous quality improvement process for the Joint Advisory Committee. One comment I would make on goal number 7 is that this is partially a carryover. Previously, the strategic plan indicated that there was necessity to create NRS ability for the Joint Advisory Committee to function in a continuous quality improvement method. That was already included in legislature. So what is being brought over is the creation of that process so that the JAC can be used in that capacity. This also recognizes that national standards will change. There are several metrics that are very specific. For instance, one of them talks about decreased use of lights and sirens at 30% or below. This allows the opportunity that when a national standard changes, it can be reviewed to see if there is the appetite to update this strategic plan accordingly. The next step, if approved, will be to begin partner meetings for assignment and roles and responsibilities, beginning with conversation at the July JAC meeting and then creating subsequent meetings as needed. I'm available for any questions specific to the strategic plan.
Any questions, comments? I do want to say you did a really good job. I know you guys worked a lot on all of that and you presented it very well. I would encourage just continue to bring us stuff. We appreciate the collaboration happening in our region. We're one region when it comes to all of this, and we need to function together. So thank you.
Very good, thank you.
And this is something we do need to accept. I have a first.
Second.
I have a second and a third. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Discussion and possible approval of the proposed REMSA response zone map for the ambulance franchise service area with a July 1st, 2023 effective date. And you get to stay with us. Thank you.
I'll return right in front of the mic. Sabrina Braswell, for the record, EMS coordinator for the Washoe County Health District. Today, I have before you the opportunity for the review of a proposed revision to the REMSA response franchise map. In front of you, you have a graphic which highlights the proposed area of change. The request is to bring forth from Zone B, which has a response time requirement of 15 minutes and 59 seconds for 90% of all Priority 1 medical calls, to a Zone A, where 90% of all Priority 1 medical calls have a response time of 8 minutes and 59 seconds. This map has not previously been presented when changes were not necessary or requested. What will be the motion of the program going forward is to continue to revisit this both at the EMS Services Advisory Board as well as the District Board of Health, even if there are no proposed changes. In this case, we are asking for an area change. A little bit of historical context. Upon last evaluation of the map, this was unpopulated as it was currently in construction. Construction has ceased and was completed, and it is now inhabited, so we feel that it is appropriate to request the change to a higher prioritization on behalf of the citizens of that area. I'm happy to take any questions.
Any questions or comments? I think it makes sense to me, and as we grow, we'll continue to grow with it. Do I have a motion? Have a first, do I have a second?
Second.
Second, and all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. We keep rolling. Discussion and possible approval of the proposed REMSA. Oh, no, I actually just did that. Discussion and direction to staff regarding legislation or legislative issues proposed by legislators. I know Joelle Goodman-Dotson, she's actually probably hanging down in Carson City, so hand that over to you, Mr. Day.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, Joelle is extremely busy this time of the session, but doing a great job for us. Give you an update on some of the bills that we've been involved with or watching. AB 53, which is the AG's bill for that includes penalties for the cigarette sales to minors, has passed out of the second house, moved out of the Senate yesterday. So we'll be going to the governor. AB 69, which is the Washoe Regional Behavioral Health Policy Board bill that provides for student loan repayments for behavioral health providers, is still sitting out there. It's been declared exempt. Hasn't moved anywhere since passed out of the Assembly Education Committee on March 14th. AB 132, this is a bill that we had some concerns about, intended to help provide rapid interventions on overdose deaths through a death review process. This bill has been amended to only apply to the Clark County Commission to establish a regional opioid task force. Here in Washoe County, the sheriff's office has worked with other partners to develop a rapid response plan for overdoses, and we do have a Washoe County opioid task force that actually Joe Dibble, who you heard from earlier, chairs. So this one won't affect us, but it did pass out of the Senate, so out of the second house with that amendment on the 24th, yesterday. The AB 168 that would establish a statewide fetal and infant mortality review committee would probably end up pulling those resources from our successful nationally recognized FEMR. Has been declared exempt, but it hasn't moved since it moved out of Assembly Health and Human Services on April 12th. Also, AB 357 that is switching sex ed in schools from opt-in to opt-out has been declared exempt, but hasn't gone anywhere since April 13th when it was referred to Ways and Means. SB 92, which is the sidewalk vendor bill, has been amended some more and has been passed out of the Assembly Government Affairs Committee May 19th. It looks like it'll move out of the Assembly for the second House passage. The most recent amendments to this bill, there's a task force in the bill to look at how to best regulate sidewalk vendors, and the provisions for the task force composition has been changed from a health authority representative to specify that the health authority representative is from a county with a population of 100,000 or more. So it would be make that either a Washoe County or Washoe County Health District or Southern Nevada Health District representative on the board. It also specifies that the boards of health are supposed to, the district boards of health are supposed to adopt regulations based on what comes from the task force recommendations. That's of some concern. However, the date that the regulations would require adoption is December of 2025. So if the recommendations are not supportive of public health, there would be an opportunity to go back to the legislature and make that case in the next session. SB 118, which is our top priority bill for the Public Health Improvement Fund, was heard by the Senate Finance Committee last Saturday. We're working on that bill with Senator Dunyate, who's carrying it on behalf of the Interim Health and Human Services Committee. We're working to clarify an amendment that was not crafted properly by LCB as the bill moved out of Senate Health and Human Services to clarify that the money is supposed to be allocated by population directly from taxation to the Washoe County Treasurer's Office to give to then put in our account versus having it go through the Department of Health and Human Services, which is really an unnecessary step. It will slow the process for the funds. And so we think we've had discussions with taxation. They've agreed that they're not going to put a fiscal note on the bill for that piece of it. And so we're hopeful that we'll be seeing that one move through committee here soon through Senate Finance, but that also is an exempt bill. And then on SB 172, That was the bill that provides for minors to be able to receive treatment for sexually transmitted diseases, preventive services for sexually transmitted diseases, as well as contraceptives without parental consent, has passed out of the Assembly, so the second House. But there was some amended language in there that really just clarified that a minor is allowed to provide consent for these services. So it's going to be then circling back around to the Senate for to be passed out of there again, but it looks like it's headed successfully through. SB 441, which was the repeal of the COVID-19 daily cleaning requirements that were, and basically the rest of the old SB 4 requirements was signed by the governor on May 17th. So that's the first one that's actually really made it to the finish line. And coming up on this Friday for non-exempt bills is the second House passage deadline. And next Wednesday, the 31st, budget bills and need to be introduced and exempt bills from the committees, with the wrap-up final day 120 on June 5th. So that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I get to have the honor of walking through with Ms. Dotson and Mr. Dick quite often, and her hands, she's doing a great job. There's so much in this that there were things in there that would definitely affect us badly, and she has been able to shape them as we go. There's still a few more that I think she's working on, but please tell her good job. And if you guys ever have questions about any of these bills, please know that we are able to speak into them to the best of our ability and share. So any questions or concerns? Okay, thank you so much. It's an action, so do I have a motion? Mr. Novak got a first. Second. Mr. Clacken got a second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. We are on to our staff reports and program updates. Air quality management, Francisco Vega. Nice tie, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, for the record, Francisco Vega, Director of the Air Quality Management Division. I believe you have in front of you my director's report. I just want to highlight a couple of things. I did provide information on the American Lung Association's State of the Air report. I'm sure it's probably no surprise that we received a failing grade for particulate and ozone pollution. And again, this data runs from calendar years 2019 through 2021. Specifically, we were ranked 5th for most polluted cities for short-term particulate pollution and 19th for ozone. And then also just wanted to mention again that we continue to work with the school district on trying to get some grant funding for electric buses. And really more our role is just trying to connect the correct parties. In this case, NDEP's got some grant opportunities. NV Energy possibly as well. So we're trying to coordinate that as much as we can, but that's pretty much our role in that. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Thank you very much. Yep. Good job. And we'll move on to our community and clinical health services.
Good afternoon, Lisa Lottridge, Division Director for Community and Clinical Health Services, for the record. Just two additions for me. Just wanted to let you know, the report, it talks about our HIV cases. We are at case count of 22, which usually, and this was written early in May, which usually occurs for us more at mid-year. But I'm happy to say I did get a report that seems to be that we're not increasing as much as we were in the previous week. So good news, and they'll probably kill me for saying that because I'll jinx them. But another thing with our sexual health program, bicillin shortage for syphilis cases. It's national, that it's impacting nationally, but we are being impacted here. and unable to get bicillin. It's on back order. We're going with every distributor we can think of and just have not been able to get it. So we're reserving our limited doses for pregnant women and anyone that may have an allergy to doxycycline, and then using doxycycline for treatment. But with that, it's either a 14-day treatment or a 28-day treatment, which is definitely more impactful for the patient. So we're struggling with that, but that's all I have, and I'm happy to answer questions.
My only question is this, obviously that's rather concerning in the sense of trying to treat and keep numbers where they're at and things of that fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Is there not another drug that could be used? Is that it?
Bicillin and doxycycline.
Wow.
That's all.
Wow. That's tough. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair, thank you. Ms. Lotters, may I ask, is your department responsible for overseeing issues regarding blood donations in the community? Is that part of this department or division, or would that be someone else?
No, that would not be. If someone gives blood and they're positive for a communicable disease, then we would be notified. But other than that, we're not responsible for overseeing.
Okay,
those.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let me just ask the question. Do we have someone responsible that takes that?
Not at the health district.
Okay.
I think it would be at the state.
Okay. I just didn't want you to have to ask every person.
Nope. I figured I was asking the right one.
So, okay, we're moving on to environmental health services.
James English, Environmental Health Specialist, filling in for Ms. Erin Dixon, Environmental Health. Just want to highlight a couple of things. First, as you see on our director's report, is the active managerial control programs that we're putting in place in the food safety and trying to work with our operators. We've started our workshops this week. We had a very successful one on Tuesday. We had one at 1 o'clock today, and we also have one tonight at 6 p.m. I want to go ahead and highlight that. And then with our successful trainee program, as we brought on 2 additional ones this month, we had one individual successfully pass the REHS National Registration Test in mid-April. So that was another success of our training program. Furthermore, as the health officer mentioned earlier in the meeting, this is pool season. We try to do a lot of public outreach regarding swimming pools, opening requirements, and oversight. Try to get individuals to schedule those as early as possible. But what this community probably doesn't realize in general, that unless your pool's in your private backyard, the health district actually oversees that and inspects that. So our staff is feverishly trying to open pretty much every pool in Washoe County the week before Memorial Day weekend. So luckily, this storms have helped a little bit, but wanted to highlight that. And as all of you know, construction season really hasn't slowed down in this community, but it is really geared up now that the ground has started to dry. So all of our programs are busy. With that, I can attempt to answer any questions or take notes to bring back.
Any questions? Yes, sir.
Just to follow up on the report itself, vector-borne diseases, there was a note in the report talking about we're losing our helicopter company that there. Did we really buy a drone that we're going to be operating?
Yes, we actually have 2, and they're in the process of going through the procedures to actually go ahead and operate those. Furthermore, it's my understanding we have successfully found a helicopter company that we are also going through the purchasing process so that we have that as an additional resource.
A follow-up question to that, is there, I think we've talked about this for a few months, how long till we get drones moving? Because in the meantime, we don't have any spraying going on at all.
What do you want to talk about the press release?
We just issued a press release today outlining that. I don't have it in front of me, but I believe our staff has actually passed their flight certifications with the FAA, and we're working on some of the legal requirements associated with the actual flying, and then coordinating with the companies that actually do this work and sell these drones. This is relatively new technology across the United States that many jurisdictions are moving to because you impact less people and you can fly at a lower elevation and get into more areas safely. So what I have heard ancillarily, and the health officer can speak to it, I would think by July, hopefully, we'll have those in the air.
I would just add with the contract that we're trying to get pushed through with the helicopter company that's now available for us, we're pushing to try to get a helicopter available prior to us flying drones. So later June or early July.
Yeah, because I would encourage that. Thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Like there's film of 11.
Yeah.
And actually, with the fast-moving water, with our snow melt and the cooler temperatures, mosquitoes really haven't been a large problem. Where counts are very low, but we are seeing large midge, which the general public sometimes believes are mosquitoes.
Oh, thank you. Any other questions? Thank you. Appreciate it. We are on to epidemiology and public health preparedness. Dr. Nancy Dow.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. This is Nancy Dow, Division Director of Epidemiology and Public Health Preparedness. So you have my report. I don't have anything to change to that, just a few recent highlights to cover. This Tuesday, the University of Nevada, Reno did hold a first interprofessional care tabletop exercise for the School of Public Health and for the School of Nursing students. The public health preparedness staff participated and supported the university in that aspect, acting as facilitators for this exercise specifically. So this exercise for the university was to serve as an introductory to students for emergency management and to teach an overview of how the ICS system works under a unified response structure. In epidemiology, with May being National Hepatitis Awareness Month, we wrote out a Epi News on the 16th to highlight recent updates to the hepatitis B screening updates. As a reminder, the epidemiology program conducts surveillance for acute cases of hepatitis A, B, and C, as well as chronic hepatitis B and hepatitis C and perinatal cases as well. Also rolled out this month in Epi News was a CDC's Health Alert Network publication on potential risk of new Mpox cases. This Epi News highlighted the recent cluster of Mpox cases forming in Chicago, and as a reminder of the possible resurgence of Mpox over the spring and summer months as gatherings for festivals and other events start happening. We do have Genio's vaccine available to the community, offered through several community resources and as an appointment at our clinic. And also, we just ended our flu season with MMWR Week 20 ending the past weekend. We're still consolidating our numbers and calculations for our Week 20 stats, which will be coming out next Friday as a report to update you guys. But as a quick overview of the season so far, we've seen 25 deaths reported to date. This season saw very early upticks, as we talked about several times, for IOI activities that progressed through the end of November 2022. But since the start of 2023, activities has been decreasing and IOI activities has been lower than Region 9 and Nevada baselines. The dominant flu type this season has been influenza A. Of those typed, H3 and 2 made up over here over a third of our total. And at the end of week 19, we had a cumulative of 348 Washoe County residents that's been hospitalized with influenza, and of those hospitalized, 75% were not vaccinated with the seasonal influenza vaccine. So as mentioned, we'll be producing an end-of-season summary with all the cumulative stats up to week 20 coming next week for your awareness. That's all from me. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Any questions? We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You.
Health Officer Kevin Dick, you're up.
Thank you, Chairman. Just a little brief update on COVID. Just recently, the FDA granted full approval for Paxlovid for adults 18 and older. So that's there are more data available showing safety and efficacy, and so that's fully approved, not emergency use authorization any longer. For children 12 to 18, still emergency use authorization status there, just lack of, not more data like there was available for adults. On the FY24 budget, I wanted to make the board aware the county adopted the FY24 budget, including the health district's budget. We were notified at the last minute before the report went forward in the packet that the SAP system, the Enterprise Resource Planning System for the county, didn't reflect the revenues at the level that we had presented to the board for FY24, and we didn't have an opportunity to change the SAP numbers at that point. We think that this is arising from some of the funds that are flowing in that haven't gone through BCC yet, and we're expecting more before the end of the year. So we're expecting that revenue to show up. But I think the good news is that the expenditures are in there because our ending fund balance would cover those expenditures. So as the revenue comes in, we'll work to get those numbers adjusted, and we'll monitor our budget as we move forward. And then on the, Family Health Festival, Mr. Dibble mentioned that we had just done a Family Health Festival, 500 families served last weekend. And I just wanted to recognize the partners that work with us on the Family Health Festival Committee to put that event on. It was held down at the Neal Road Community Center. It includes the Community Health Alliance, Community Services Agency, Family Resource Center, Food Bank of Northern Nevada, Health Plan of Nevada, Immunize Nevada, Liberty Dental Plan, Molina Healthcare, Northern Nevada Hopes, and the United Way of Northern Nevada and the Sierra. And they each have representatives that work very hard to get those organized and pulled off. And then also wanted to mention with our health equity grant, we're now working with the Larson Institute at UNR to develop a 6-hour asynchronous online cultural competency training that will not only benefit us and our staff, but the plan is for this funding to support being able to make that training available statewide for other health authorities. So, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Any questions? Okay, we are moving on to any board comments.
I do have board comment.
Yes.
Is it okay if I go first?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. So yes, happy National EMS Week to everybody, to the board members, and to everybody here with us during the meeting. I really truly believe it is always a time to honor frontline heroes and everyone in our community and in all communities who dedicate their time and compassion to running towards those in need, oftentimes in the scariest of situations. I think emergency medical personnel encompass amazing individuals who dedicate themselves to helping in those scariest of situations and in the most vulnerable times of need. And I think it takes a different individual to run towards danger than what the natural instinct may be, which is sometimes to run away from it. So I will actually present 2 videos on behalf of St. Mary's Health Network and St. Mary's Hospital. And these videos have uniquely touched me as a person. What you will hear in the first video are actual 911 calls that lead to saving each one of the patients who the call was made for. And to me, it highlights the dispatch call, the dispatcher who calmly guides bystanders, families, friends through these moments of needs. Then the personnel, emergency medical personnel who provide the life-saving pre-hospital care and transport to the hospital. And then the ongoing care that's provided in the ER and hospital settings. Again, we call these code save events because they are cardiac arrests. Essentially, these patients have died, and the patients were successfully resuscitated and functionally walked out of the hospital, which is a really amazing thing. I will preface that the first video does replay actual 911 calls, so they are clipped for privacy, but they are during actual emergencies, so these calls may be difficult to listen to. We invite anybody to leave the room who feels we seldom have an opportunity to firsthand listen to what this incredible and heroic work is actually like. So first we'll play the dispatch video.
Grandma. She's been sick for a while now. Today she wasn't doing so well. She was really quiet.
Okay, I need to do a quick breathing test on Grandma, okay? I want you to say the word now and only the word now every single time she takes a breath in, starting immediately.
Okay.
Has she taken a breath in?
She's barely, you can barely tell that she's taking it in.
I want you to start counting out loud now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're doing a great job. Don't stop. This is going to keep her going, okay? Keep going. Okay, are the paramedics there?
Yes.
Okay, you did a very good job. Tell me exactly what happened.
His eyes are open, but he's not responsive. I know.
Okay, tell me what happened, though.
No, his eyes are open, but he's not responding.
Okay.
And I don't know if he's breathing.
Okay. Place the heel of your hand on the breastbone right between the nipples and place your other hand on top of that hand. Do you understand?
Okay. Yes.
All right. Pump the chest hard and fast at least twice per second and 2 inches deep, okay?
Okay.
All right. We're going to go at this rate.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. They're already coming. Tell me exactly what happened.
And then she just stopped breathing. She started acting weird, and now she's like barely breathing.
Okay, lots of help on the way, okay? Listen to me very carefully. I'm going to tell you how to help your friend. Okay, so listen to me. Let's tilt her head back, okay? We're going to place your hand on her forehead, your other hand under her neck, then tilt her head back.
Okay.
Okay, now pinch her nose closed and completely cover her mouth with your mouth. Blow 2 regular breaths into the lungs, about 1 second each. The chest should rise with each breath.
Okay, I think I felt it rise a little.
Good job. Okay, so now listen carefully. I'm going to tell you how to do chest compressions. They're still coming to you.
Don't tell me definitively whether she's breathing or not, no. Every so often she takes a big breath. At the moment, she's not doing anything. She's just lying in a recovery position at the moment.
Okay. I'm sending the paramedics to help you now. Stay on the line. I'm going to tell you what to do next, okay? Are you right by her now? All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do compressions. Listen carefully, and I'm going to tell you how to do chest compressions. Again, flat on her back, nothing under her head. Place the heel of your hand on the breastbone. Count out loud with me. 1, 2, 3,
4.
Okay, so you said that he's not responding and you can't wake him up. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So are you with the patient now?
Yeah.
Now, when you say his O2 is low, how low is his O2?
68.
68?
Yeah.
Okay, and listen carefully. I want you to lay him flat on his back on the floor and remove anything from under his head. We need to do CPR instructions because he is not breathing effectively. You can use the sheet. You can use anything. We need to get him on the floor. If there's somebody that you can send outside to go find somebody else to help you, then that's what you need to do. Without doing this, he could die. So we need to get him on the floor.
Okay.
You take the sheets off the bed. If you pull them up from the corners of the bed, you can use the sheet to pull the sheet, and get him to the floor. He needs to get to the floor and be flat on his back and remove anything from under his head.
Okay, we will try, ma'am. We will try.
In a world where most of us don't often think about what it means to be in an emergency, there's one thing that's certain. We're grateful for the selfless, the committed, and the brave. For the nurses, the dispatchers, the providers, and the first responders that choose to answer the calls that protect and serve the ones we love. The everyday heroes we also call neighbor, friend, and family. Those who put their lives on the line daily, prepared to keep us safe, assisting in emergency circumstances when we need them most. At St. Mary's, we're inspired by the years of dedication of our fellow emergency medical service responders. And although we're not firefighters, EMTs, paramedics, or police officers, the care we provide begins with them. And at St. Mary's, we appreciate you, helping us to offer the lowest ER wait times in the area. We thank you for partnering and providing compassionate care day and night. Together, it is an honor to care for you and your loved ones. From St. Mary's, we thank you for all that you do.
It's a great video. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Any other board comments before we close out today? Very good. And do we have any public comment we need to worry about here? We're good? Okay. And meeting adjourned. Have a great day.